let's talk about how to use in the mind's eye to supersize and grow your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. I love these cards. I don't know if I've shared these card decks, but they're card decks that go along with different books that are an easy way to get the highlights out of a book, but they also are the most important things in the book, or the most important things according to the authors, of course, or the editors of the book. And so it's a quick and easy way to get information that can help us. They're also tend to be, these are actually from 4 different decks. I obviously like this as a tool. They're a good way to grab something that gives us a positive way of looking at something, or that remind us to think of something that we don't think of necessarily very often, like I see clearly, or I am the attractor of my every experience, or I can see my world through the eyes of source. What does that mean? And then divine wisdom guides me. Things like that. These are all eye related, third eye, thinking of source, stuff like that. That's pretty woo woo. I like to think I'm really, really woo woo. But as I was looking for something to represent the in the mind's eye idiom, I was like, okay, I'm not as woo woo as I think I am, but I have these card decks and they're kind of woo woo. So I bet I can find one. And the first card I pulled out was this one, which is kind of perfect because it's got like eyes in the top of the head, like the mind's eyes are different than our physical eyes. Well, what the heck is this idiom? What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you use it to grow and build and supersize your business? This idiom's actually very old. It's a lot older than I thought it was. Geoffrey Chaucer used it in The Man of Law's Tale. I think it was a poem. I could be wrong. He was a poet, though, so I just am assuming it's a poem. Never read it. In the 1300s. Chances are I'd have a hard time reading it and understanding it. So it's not in my wheelhouse of something that I'm interested or curious enough about to look it up. But I am curious enough to look it up and find out that it's the origin of this particular idiom. At least the first documented use of it. A lot of times with idioms, they've been being used for hundreds and hundreds of years before they actually get documented or written down by someone and become been part of our language, part of the way we communicate for much longer than they actually have been documented or used in writing. But what does it mean? It means to see or imagine something mentally, often before we can even see it physically. So how does this work out in our business? Terrifically, just like visualization. It's really a way of saying visualizing or visualization. Visualization is one of the fastest, easiest ways to create something in our life, and especially in our businesses, that maybe hasn't been created before, or that we're not 100% sure we can do it or can create it, but we know we can by visualizing it and imagining it as if it's already in existence. That helps us to take the steps necessary to actually create it and make it a reality in our business and in our life. And the truth is, we create everything, good, bad, and ugly, that happens in our businesses and in our life. Now, we might not 100% create it, but we co-create it with other things in the universe. That is kind of woo-woo. And that's why things happen. And remember, when things happen, things that we think are bad, there's usually a silver lining or a gift in that thing, and a lesson for sure to be learned from that thing that we need to know in order to move forward and continue to grow and create the business and the life that we want. Visualizing our desired results. It's hard for me to imagine that people aren't aware that this is a super duper powerful tool and that everybody isn't already using it. But the vast majority of the people, like everything else that's super easy and makes us successful, other people aren't using. If they were, everyone would have everything that they want right now. But it requires a little bit of effort, right? We have to take some effort to learn how to be. We are all automatically visualizers. Our brains work in pictures. They don't work in words. Words are symbols that we see in our mind that are created, and were created long after our ability to see pictures in our mind. We see pictures in our mind and we ask questions. So we talked about a tool that I love called affirmations in this year's annual challenge today. We're focusing on confidence this month, thus confidence related idioms. Guess what? If you want to grow and build and supersize your business, you have to have a lot of confidence, a lot of moxie, the ability to learn from your mistakes, to keep on going and moving forward in spite of what's going on around you the vast majority of the time. So I always like to remind myself when I hear this idiom or an idiom like it in the mind's eye to visualize what I want. If I am visualizing what I want, my subconscious and everything else in the universe is moving me toward that thing. If I think about what I don't want, or that I don't have what I want already, guess what? That keeps me stuck in a cycle of not moving forward toward what it is that I want. Again, kind of woo-woo, but super powerful. So why aren't we using it, right? Why aren't we using it to create the lives we want, to create the relationships, the in for our business, right? Because business is all about relationships. And it reminds me that believing always comes before seeing. Before something shows up in our life, we have to first believe that it's possible for us and that we can make it happen. And that especially applies to the steps that are necessary to build and grow our businesses. We have to believe it and take the steps toward making it happen before we're going to actually see the result happen. That's just the universal law. That's how everything works, whether we know it or not. The universal laws, gravity applies to all of us, whether we know about it or believe it or not. If you jump off a balcony, you're going to hit the ground, right? Whether you know that or not, right? It's going to happen. Same is true of our business. If we focus on what we want all the time, and we know that the little bumps in the road along the way to getting what we want are just lessons to learn along the way, things that the universe wants us to see, that the world wants us to see, so that we make better choices and better results and become better versions of human beings. Because all of us ought to be wanting to be better versions and better human beings. My opinion, of course. That's it. That's our idiom for today. I really like this one, in the mind's eye, because it reminds me that there is a big, big world out there that has, nothing to do with me and my business, right? And sometimes I need to take that into consideration, but I always need to be focusing on where I'm going, what I want, and then the how to get there will show up. All right. Have an awesome day. Share your comments about this idiom below, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? Probably confidence related for the rest of this month, and how might you use it to build and grow and supersize your business. Have an amazing day.